A man from Cornwall has been sharing some archive footage of his grandfather's memories of the First World War. Horace Huckle was an observer with the Royal Flying Corps.
Well, tonight an exhibition featuring Horace's adventures will open at the museum in Lyme Regis, the town where he lived until his death in the 1980s. Our Dorset reporter Simon Clemison has the story.
I find myself in 103 Squadron at a place called Cerney. It was the front line.
Listen carefully to the words being spoken, because there is no one to speak them anymore.
One could see the flash right along the line of the guns as they go.
No one whose eyes saw what they saw, combat close up in a world at war. Horace Huckle, or Bob as he was known, was an airman. He carried out observations and was in charge of a gun at the rear, a teenager on board a plane carrying 212-pound bombs. The letters AA in his notes stand for anti-aircraft fire.
Many of them, officers and sergeants, got lost, taken prisoners of war. And at one time, there were 13 of us, NCO, sergeant observers. The next night, there was only 6 of us. So you can see how different.
These recollections were filmed 30 years ago, Bob Huckle by then in his 80s. His grandson wanted to capture his experiences before he died, and video brings the story alive for generations who will never know the men who fought.
You see the mannerisms, you hear the voice. There were some questions I couldn't ask him. I mean, he was very much a man of faith. He was a stalwart of the Baptist Church in Lyme. And part of me would like to have asked him, well, how do you feel about, dropping these incendiary bombs?
This page actually shows what I think is the conventions that he would use when he was actually observing, I think.
There are symbols for barbed wire and guns, but consider too that cross-channel flying was only just possible. Air wars were new.
It must have been cold, it must have been quite terrifying at times, and of course we can tell from the information that we've got in Sergeant Huckle's books that crashes were common.
Bob Huckle also served in the Second World War, not a member of the armed forces by trade, but a plumber who settled in Dorset and who survived when millions didn't. Long gone now, but his ordinary eyewitness account of world-changing events lives on. Simon Clemison, BBC Spotlight, Lyme Regis.